My landlords were Ida Carr, the photographer. Do you know her book?
Yes.
You know that. And Victor Musgrave, who ran Gallery One. Looking down from my windows on the ivy just over here on my left, and the theatre with the mousetrap to my right. It's now demolished. It was a site. It is the site of a kind of very modern tall building, I believe. Never go down there. It used to be a wonderful pissoir with all the homosexuals circling it like flies through the night and a light above it. Green pissoir. Victor worked originally as a screenwriter on Gainsborough films. And then when he packed up, he took over Gallery One from, oh God, a painter who's quite well known. He went to France. And then Victor inherited it and moved in. And he discovered some quite interesting people like Klein, for instance. He discovered Klein. I started my career in Fleet Street and then went on into the arts with my first novel. And I was very lucky in the sense that I was included in the angry young men of that school, of that period, which changed my life entirely. It brought me both fame and notoriety. And certainly it was never an easy passage, particularly from the journalists of that period who were all either friends of mine or rivals or inferiors. It was wonderful. I appeared as a football for them. A lot of worlds met in Soho. All the Clifton set used to meet there. And one I still see on television is Joanna Lumley. I knew her when she was a young Deb. Well, that goes back a long way, doesn't it? But it's queer that everyone knew each other in those days. The Crays, the criminals, most of the criminals, most of the debutantes, most of the young aristocrats, most of the authors and painters, and that little world concentrated in Soho to a remarkable degree. It's impossible to imagine it now, but in those days the class divisions were so clear-cut that everyone who was escaping from them would be in Soho. Now, I look back and I see Soho as with incredulity. How was it possible? But of course, everyone was fleeing from their own class divisions. And criminals were very much a part of the scene. They were very sympathetic. Even the Richardson gang were there, and Jack Spott was there when I first. He was the top banana of the criminal world.
That was in the 50s.
Yeah. And then the boys from Malta took over. I had as a tenant one of the men who was suspected of hanging Calvi under Blackfriars Bridge.
Yeah.
Fortunately, I sensed some danger and I told him to quit as my tenant. Then he was murdered in Holland Park. They tortured him, took out his teeth with pincers, and ended up, he was so nightmarish as a corpse. Apparently his charlady ran down Holland Park Avenue screaming. She opened the door to clean the place up and it was covered in blood. Well, you know, the trouble is, Stuart, when I vanished and changed my name and entered the antiquarian world, it was a complete severance.
Yeah.
And so I really didn't keep up with anyone, but largely because I became a pariah, really. While I change my name and change the direction of my interest. A lot of the fragmentation of Soho took place, so I didn't witness it. And I'm very sad and sorry about that. But then I'd have been sadder and sorrier if I had seen it happening, with everyone abandoning it finally wholesale.